Warning, this video is not intended for kids. You know what, at this point I might have just thrown the towel. I already beated this game off camera. It is 11:39 p.m. I should go to bed right now. And this level's just very hard, okay? So as of late, I've been very interested in this video game series called SplatterHouse. It is like a retro video game series consisting of 3 sequels and it originating on an arcade game. And today I'll be going over all of them consecutively. I don't know how to start this video. Okay, let's just jump right in, okay? So this right here is SplatterHouse, known for its grotesque, disgusting imagery and over-the-top violence displayed here. We got everything from blood, vomit, Nickelodeon gack, ooze, slime, whatever the heck these things are. The gameplay is very simple. Even though it's a beat-em-up, it plays more like Kung Fu than, your stereotypical beat-em-up. Every problem in this game is solved as simple as a punch and a kick. Each level is very diverse from one another. Like, for example, in one level you could be fighting a bunch of inanimate objects controlled by a poltergeist. And in the next level is the one and only part where you get given a shotgun, but don't get too greedy. You might need that extra ammo for the boss. And don't forget about the various variety of weapons you get throughout each level. Each level also gets progressively longer and more complicated than the last, with branching paths with different enemies. But the goal of each level still stays the same. Just run to the right and kill everything you see. But it doesn't mean it's easy, because throughout each of the levels, there are no health pickups anywhere. You only get 2 extra health in between beating levels. So expect to die a lot. And also, there's only 5 continues in this entire game. I am strictly talking about the TurboGrafx-16 version of the game, which is what you see here. This version of this game gives you 5 hearts, instead of the arcade version that only gives you 4 hearts. Oh yeah, that boss fight right there, that's your girlfriend, who's... This game is also very heavily influenced by horror movies, as you can see. Like the main character, who is a ripoff of Jason Voorhees. And also, during this recording session, I spent like 3 continues trying to beat this level, because the boss of this level is so cheap. Yes! Finally. All it took was 3 credits. But hey, no worries, at least I got all this awesome footage to show for it to put in this YouTube video. And to top it all off, the final boss is this Eldritch God. He's actually really easy if you know what you're doing. With the ending being equally as beautiful as it is sad. Yep, that's SplatterHouse 1 for you, but get ready, we're just scratching the surface. It gets way better from here. Up next is SplatterHouse Wanpaku Graffiti. This is basically the SplatterHouse equivalent to Mighty Final Fight. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that basically means that it's a more toned-down, kid-friendly version of SplatterHouse, of course. Now, despite the levels being longer in length and there being mini-bosses, it is easier than the original, because there are now health pickups everywhere around the level that consist of candy and hamburgers. The numbers, unlike the top left of the screen, the more enemies you kill, the longer your health bar will get once you fill the quota. And most importantly, even though there's limited continues, there is a password system. Now, gameplay-wise, this takes a massive departure from the original SplatterHouse. Since you move a lot faster, you have an axe as your main weapon instead of your fists, and because of the control changes, it is a lot more platform heavy in order to coincide with the more childish, trick-or-treat, kid-friendly thematic decisions of... Gee, this is why I struggle speaking and stutter a lot. I keep using big academic-sounding words. Like, I can't stop! Not to sound pretentious or anything, but, the flow of this game reminds me a lot of Cobra Trigger. And by that I mean pacing, because before you know it, the game will be over in a snap, because you are having so much fun playing this game. And of course, as a traditional SplatterHouse staple, it is filled to the brim with pop culture references. Like this one is obviously like a reference to the chessboard stories from Aliens. And another SplatterHouse staple is that the bosses can also be very easily cheesed. And remember, this is also the same franchise as this, so putting this game right next to the original SplatterHouse, it's like comparing vanilla to chocolate. The tone shift is crazy. Also, genuinely, this boss fight is really cool. What else can I say, other than this game is just a good old family-friendly, jolly good time. There's also 2 secret levels in this game for some added replayability. So yeah, that was SplatterHouse 1 Paku Graffiti. It's really cute. Now, on the same day that I beated Paku Graffiti that morning, I also managed to beat SplatterHouse 2 that same day. So we're gonna go over it because, you know, why not? This is what I have to do. Wow, this is quite the cinematic intro. Now we're back to basics. This is SplatterHouse 3, this time only on the Sega Genesis, with a difficulty selection, but the lowest is the default one, which is normal. Right from the get-go, this is already harder than the first game. And they definitely upped the ante on the gore and general disgustingness that was present in the first SplatterHouse game. Sure, you still got your usual blood, gack, vomit, blood, that stuff, guts, the list goes on. The levels now this time around are a lot more fleshed out and varied when it comes to their themes and gimmicks. Although functionality-wise, it's exactly the same as the first SplatterHouse game. Although you also notice that you have 4 hearts now instead of 5. The bosses this time around now require more skill and thought, so it's harder to cheese them. I also like how, like I said before, the levels are like more varied, but unlike in SplatterHouse 1 where most of the levels were just walking down the hallways, this also consists of walking down hallways, but hey, there's more stuff to it. Like how level 2 starts with you descending into an elevator fighting green, jumping, and screaming guys. Or how at the start of this level, you have to run away from a sea monster as it's destroying the pier as you're walking on it, while you also have to fight these blue guys. And after that, you have to go through this forest to fighting spirits and, infinitely spawning zombies. And these spearhead guys, if they touch you, they reverse your controls. But be careful if you fall in one of those holes. You have to go through this zombie dungeon. This boss is also kind of annoying because the hardest part is trying to hit him. And you'll be happy to know that this game also has a wide variety of weapons, just like in the first game. But what I forgot to mention is that in the first game, and this one too, if you enter a new room, you drop your weapon. And even though this time around there's infinite continues and passwords, that doesn't mean it's much easier than the first SplatterHouse. Actually, in my opinion, you're gonna die a lot more than in the first SplatterHouse game. But thankfully, it's fair with its difficulty. Enemy patterns are safe and predictable, and as long as you have enough muscle memory and willpower, you can make it. I also really like this boss fight because now I know who's the one in charge of making those muck monsters. And just like in the first game, there are no health pickups anywhere to be found in the levels, but with those unlimited continues, at least it's more forgiving, you know? And the last few levels are pretty short too. They're just an enemy gauntlet with a boss or two thrown in. Now, I like this game, from its cinematic presentation to its balanced gameplay, the controls, the music. I forgot to mention this, but the music is amazing. And near the end of the game, you end up saving Jennifer, who died in the previous game. You save her from the spirit world or something. And this game has not one, but two final bosses. This is an amazing sequel. Like, go check it out. This game is really cool. You know, the music, gameplay, everything. I like it, okay? It's a fun little game to play. So, you've seen SplatterHouse 1, you've seen SplatterHouse 2, you've seen one Pagography, that counts too. And now, get ready for the scariest of them all, SplatterHouse 3. This is SplatterHouse 3, this time with an easy difficulty. Nice. Now, SplatterHouse 3 is very different from your usual SplatterHouse games. This time, it's more of a Final Fight style beat-em-up game. Your goal for each level now is to navigate the maze-like levels, while also clearing the rooms of enemies with each new room you go to. Once you find the X that marks the spot, it always ends off with a boss fight that you have to face off against. Each level takes place in some floor of the mansion, having you face off against butt-ugly, grotesque, disgusting demons from hell. Rick this time around is at the strongest he's ever been, with a health bar and an assortment of many moves you can use to clobber your enemies, of course. You collect orbs to fill up your power meter, and when it's at any amount, with a push of a button, you can transform into Super Rick. He's basically like the Incredible Hulk, deal more damage and take less damage. There's other weapons you can get throughout each level to make it easier for you to fight the enemies. And even better, you can now take them through other rooms without dropping them. And you can keep them as long as you want. But the only problem is that there's this annoying mechanic that when you drop a weapon, there'll always be like a ghost to try to steal your weapon. But hey, I'm not complaining, the weapons are good, and better yet, for the first time in SplatterHouse history, not counting one Paku Graffiti, they are actual health pickups throughout the levels. The enemies of this game, and I'll give them cute little nicknames because I don't think they have actual names, first off, we got the annoying little baby raptors. They like to slide around, which makes them very annoying to deal with. Next, we got the Lards. They're fat, so they do a lot of damage and take very long to kill. So the meta for these are to stun-lock them because they can kill you in 2 hits. And then we got the first boss of the game. As of beat-em-up tradition, the first boss of any game in a beat-em-up will be a reoccurring enemy, and this game is no exception. I recommend you use Super Rick because at least you can jab them and kill them in like 4 hits. And then we have the butt-ugly Martians. These two-more-faced creatures will try to claw your eyes out, so be careful. And then we got the muck monsters. Make sure to keep your distance, because they can claw you, and they have a long range too, so be a bit careful. And we also got this boss fight too, where this is like your son. It's not actually your son, it's just some soul masquerading as your son. He's kind of pathetic. Then we got the Hellhounds. They might look easy to deal with, but they can kill you in 2 hits with their, like, scorpion stinger tail that comes from underneath. Ever read Dante's Inferno? Well, I haven't, but this kind of feels what I imagine Dante's Inferno is like. And then we got the bedsheet ghosts. Whenever they go around, you can't attack them, but their attack, which is their giant arm, kills you in 2 hits. And as you can see here, once they're in their second form, they can't go invincible anymore. So yeah, be on the lookout on that. Here's the boss of stage 4. Am I missing anything? Oh yeah, then there's a Skin and Bones. He's like the gray guy on the left. Enough said, he just walks towards you and tries to punch you. Now, I could show you the final boss, but I didn't have the time to, okay? But this is still an awesome game. If you're looking for a horror-themed beat-em-up, this is a good choice. And I haven't even gotten into the plot, but it's kind of interesting, I'd say. You know what? At this point, I might have just thrown the towel. I already beated this game off camera. It is 11:39 p.m. I should go to bed right now. And this level's just very hard, okay? I'm not getting footage for the final boss, okay? I'm sorry. You can say I pussied out, but I'm calling it quits, okay? I have my limits, and this is one of them, okay? Peace. So, those were all the SplatterHouse games, not counting 2 and 10, of course. That was quite the adventure, journey, odyssey, trek, whatever verbs you can use to describe this. These were 4 very interesting, cool, unique horror video games, alright? And for someone who's a fan of retro games like I am, Now, I had fun making this video, not so much about having to beat these games in one sitting, but, especially, I still haven't figured out how to do that slide move in SplatterHouse 1 or 2. But, hey, suffice to say, I would love to play these games again once I get the chance. Especially for SplatterHouse 3, maybe I would try getting the good ending, To get the good ending in that game, you have to, beat each level in a set amount of time. These were all very enjoyable, I'd say. And I recommend them, okay? If you can handle it, of course. It's not for the faint of heart. But, for starters, go with Wanpaku Graffiti. It's safe and tame enough for, newcomers of SplatterHouse. And after that, maybe, wait a couple years to play SplatterHouse 1. SplatterHouse 1, obviously, classic. No doubts there. SplatterHouse 2, like I said, an amazing sequel. They really went all out. SplatterHouse 3, a natural evolution to just go straight up Final Fight style, beat 'em up game. And yeah, that's my piece on SplatterHouse.